Did the Saints make a big mistake choosing Blake Grupe over Wil Lutz? Off the bench overtime, Bob and Jacob Hester here. I can't believe we are making this video. I can't believe we are here talking about this. I cannot tell you how many people sent me this. Somehow, ladies and gentlemen, we are standing up for the little guy. Literally and figuratively. We are the last bastion of hope for Blake Grupe. Everyone is coming out for our guy, Blake Grupe. They're coming for him. They're saying he cost us the game. They're saying we want Wil Lutz. They're saying Lutz would have made the kick. I heard it on Twitter after the game ended, and I thought, there's no way. There's no way people actually think this. There's no way anyone actually is sitting there thinking if we had Wil Lutz, we win that game, right? Lo and behold, ladies and gentlemen, we get this. Now, I'm not going to say this is a direct response to my backing of Blake Grupe a few weeks ago in the famous Blake Grupe over Wil Lutz video. I'm not going to say that, but I'm not going to not say it. I'm not going to not say this isn't a little fun, local New Orleans media back and forth. So I have to respond to this because we are now a champion for Blake Grupe. So we're going to watch this video. We're going to react to it like only we can do. But let me make this really clear. Blake Grupe is not the reason we lost that game. Blake Grupe wasn't covering Romeo Doubs. Blake Grupe wasn't going 3 and out every possession for the entire second half. Right? Blake Grupe is not Derek Carr's AC joint. It's not Blake Grupe's fault. And even if Blake Grupe makes the kick, we still have to stop Green Bay from getting in field goal range. Okay? And don't forget, don't be so fickle. Don't be so Luke fickle, ladies and gentlemen, and forget that Blake Grupe won us the game against Tennessee, where Blake Grupe was our best offensive player by far, which is sad. So let's watch the video.
The only thing I tweeted yesterday was about Blake Grupe. And I think some people, rightfully so, point out, like, well, that's not why you lost the game. And I agree. Like, why you lost the games, everything we just talked about, the offensive line, everything else, right? But when the big fear about choosing Grupe over Lutz was the clutch kicking.
That does not exist. Okay? Not a thing. And not to mention, we're getting Blake Grupe. He's a rookie. So let's say, this is why clutch is such a, to me, it's just one of those buzzwords that it does not exist. Let's say Blake Grupe makes his next 15 field goals. Is he not clutch? Was Blake Grupe not clutch making the field goals in Tennessee? Is clutch a fluid kind of adjective where it's only in that one moment? What if he makes his next game winner? What if he goes 3 for 4 this season on game winners? Is he all of a sudden clutch? Or is he not clutch because he misses the first one? Like, how do you determine clutch? How do we even know if he isn't clutch? Because clutch doesn't mean you make every single big pressure shot or kick. Michael Jordan missed plenty of game winners. He is clutch, right? LeBron James missed plenty of game winners. I think we would all consider him clutch. I think we should give Blake Grupe more than one game-winning, not even a game-winning field goal, a field goal to give us the lead. I think we should give him more than one to determine if he's clutch. If Blake Grupe goes 0 for 4 in kicks like this season, and that's it, he's gone, I will put my hands up and I will say I was wrong. Blake Grupe is not clutch. I will say that, okay? That's a promise from me to you. But you know what's interesting is saying that Wil Lutz is clutch, because if only we had something to compare this to. If only we had a moment in time that we could compare Wil Lutz's clutch this season.
Didn't catch any.
But you would have if he would have thrown it to you. The extra point is no good.
Would you look at that? We do. We do have a moment. Week 1 of this very NFL season. The Denver Broncos lost by 1 point. Wil Lutz, Captain Clutch, the most clutch kicker in NFL history, who averaged 76% field goal made last year, missed his first kick of the year. You may say, well, James, this is his first kick of the year. Oh, it was an extra point. Ooh, and they lost by 1. Damn. But that doesn't mean anything, okay? Because Wil Lutz, extra points and field goals are different, okay? Oh, man, he missed a field goal too? Oh, man. What? You're telling me that Wil Lutz missed a field goal and he missed an extra point and the Broncos lost by 1 at home? But, oh, man, but I thought Wil Lutz was super clutch. Oh, rats. Now, I'm not saying that Blake Grupe is going to end up being Justin Tucker. What I'm saying is believing that Wil Lutz would have made a difference, or that Wil Lutz would have made the kick, or that Wil Lutz is somehow super clutch and Blake Grupe is not after this one situation is foolish.
And then Blake Grupe gets his first real opportunity to make a clutch kick. Remember, the kicks to either tie or take the lead in fourth quarter overtime under 2 minutes. Lutz was 8 of 9 in those kicks in New Orleans, with his only miss being a 60-yarder his rookie year. And Grupe has how long was it, boys?
46 yards off the top of my head.
46
yards.
yards.
46, yeah. And it wasn't even close.
No.
I mean, he pulled it at the end. It's not like he totally shanked it.
He pushed it. Yeah.
In the NFL, that's
I'm
that's
saying
a
yes.
big
I mean,
miss.
by NFL standards, it did not appear.
Yeah, he missed it. He missed the kick. This is another problem I have with clutch and not clutch. If you're a kicker, I understand moments are bigger than others. But for Blake Grupe, it's not, I don't understand how that 46-yarder, just because it was within 2 minutes or to give the lead or whatever, how is that different if we're judging it on a 3-game scale? How is that different than the kicks in the Tennessee game where they're for the lead or they're tied? They're just in different parts of the game. You know, like, this kid is under a tremendous amount of pressure. All of these kicks for him are probably pretty scary. He's won us games, ladies and gentlemen. He's won us games. He's earned the benefit of the doubt through 3 weeks. And even if he hasn't, even if I could listen to someone say, you know what, Blake Grupe doesn't have it. He's too skinny, not enough creatine in his body. I can't do it. I can understand that. But to prop that up with Wil Lutz, that's what I don't get. That's the part that blows my mind, is the automatic Wil Lutz would have made this when he's already lost a game for Denver. The first thing he did this season was lose a game for Denver. The first thing in a kicker's paradise at home, Mile High. Wil Lutz would have never lost us this game after he just lost them a game. That blows my mind.
Appear to be close to me. And I don't know, am I just being negative, or did y'all kind of feel like you could feel it when he was lining up?
Oh, a little bit. I mean, it was concerning that the game even got to that point. So not to, dispel what you're saying, not to make excuses, but yeah, you kind of felt it coming on.
You could feel it, and honestly, if you were listening to the Saints broadcast, like they felt it too. So I was on my way to the gym, and like as I was pulling up,
Flex. I respect that though. I respect that. I mean, what an unbelievable time to go to the gym. Noon on an NFL Sunday, or not even noon, deep into the card on an NFL Sunday. I mean, maybe I'm just Bill Diffie, but I'm knee deep into line movement. I'm knee deep into live betting. I got the Caesar app up. I got the DraftKings app up. I got my fantasy football team up. I've got all kinds of stuff going on. I got to respect it. This guy said, you know what? I'm doing some deadlifts today. A full NFL slate? Sorry, pal. Today is shoulders and triceps. I respect that hustle. And what they're referring to is momentum. And I'll tell you what you could feel is you could feel the Packers were going to get that 2-point conversion. I'll tell you what you could feel was that Romeo Doubs was about to catch that pass, and they were going to score. And none of that has to do with Blake Grupe. Certainly there was momentum, 100%. You could feel it shifting, but I don't know if we can start quantifying the supernatural, this overwhelming feeling. I mean, I'm not sure if we can take that into account with Sweet Blake.
up in the parking lot, that kick was happening. So I was listening to it on the radio, and they were like, "All right, young Blake Grupe, here he goes. Can can he hit it again? And then like it was just an awkward silence, and he kicked it, and they were like, he pulled it right. And, like they knew. It's like they knew before it was gonna happen. Like, it wasn't like.
Yeah,
like you could tell
I was at the
anytime
soccer
the NFL
field.
kick,
I didn't see it, but all the dads.
Yeah.
I was watching the soccer. All the dads were.
And anytime you
collectively.
can see an NFL kick off the foot that it's not going in, that's it's a bit bad. And off the foot,
Yeah, it was pushed immediately.
Immediately just pushed. So, and look, I get it. Lutz missed a big kick and extra point to cost the Broncos week 1. So this is not. It's just that this isn't even about what Lutz has done in Denver, though. This is about everything we talked about in the preseason.
Think about how long ago that is, though. Think about when they're talking about these Lutz kicks. Like, that's another part of this. We went through it. Lutz has not been good since his injury, since he missed all that time. So, look, I hate to say it, but Adam Vinatieri is probably the most clutch kicker in NFL history. Won multiple Super Bowls on the last kick of the game. I think I'd rather Blake Grupe than Adam Vinatieri right now. Why? Because people get older. People lose it. If you give me prime Wil Lutz, sure. But Wil Lutz has proven mid 70% kicker. Has not been good in go back to the last videos, 3-4 years? So, yeah, I certainly wish we had a prime version of a kicker forever. It doesn't work. It doesn't happen. Justin Tucker missed a kick this week. Justin Tucker probably is the best kicker to ever live. He's not going to be in 5 years. If someone offers them a trade for Justin Tucker in 3 years, you think the Ravens won't trade Justin Tucker once he gets older and gets hurt and starts missing 25% of his kicks?
Season, right? When you made the choice for Grupe, the big risk to Dennis Allen was going to be the clutch kicking element in all of this in a year in which he desperately needed wins. And maybe you still lose that game. I mean, Jordan Love in the offensive role at that point, right? But you didn't even give yourself a chance to win. You went ahead and ended it right there. So,
God, it just feels like the Saints just controlled the narrative of the game and just had it. And with, the weaknesses that the Saints have, but the strengths that they have feel like a team that can close that kind of game out, if that makes sense. Like with a strong defense, strong special teams, you have a lead. Okay, it hasn't been great offensively, but we can lean on this. But the offense.
Yeah, but that goes to show you when you lose that one element, and the Saints lost the element of the defense. The defense got tired, and the defense started giving up huge plays. The Packers were going up and down the field, 3 plays or 80 yards in 3 plays or whatever it was because of the pass interference call. When that happens, the Saints are not good enough right now in any other area of the game. Passing, rushing, anything. They're not good enough anywhere else. Like right now, when you look at the Saints, when you look at how bad they've been offensively, and it's kind of hard to quantify. Or it's not hard to quantify, I guess, but it's hard to even imagine. Like Raheem Mostert had 4 touchdowns this week. Raheem Mostert had more touchdowns in 4 quarters in that game than the Saints have had the entire season. The numbers aren't hard to remember. 16 points, 20 points, 17 points. I hope that last one's right. That's where we're at. That's what we've scored. 16, 20, and 17. We're in the NFL. You look at some of these other teams that are like laughable offenses, the Saints are right there. And that hurts to say, but right now, the results, the Saints are one of the worst offenses in the NFL. If you look at strictly the production, especially if you start looking at like the rushing yards and things like that, if you start even going deeper, it'll fix itself when Kamara gets there. It'll fix itself when when Derek Carr, when his shoulder heals up and he's there, when we're full strength. But this game was hard to watch because, like Jacob said, we did control the narrative, and we should have won the game, 100%. At one point, the Packers were 25-1 in play. Like they were never supposed to win that game. We were like a 98% win share, but it's the NFL. You can't basically kneel out the clock with with scoring 17 points. Everything, like the fear that we're talking about, like the fears we talked about in the offseason, the fears of Blake Grupe's clutch gene or whatever it is. The real fear is that's coming to light is the Pete Carmichael, is the offensive scheme. All offseason, we said the biggest fear. Go back in any video we had on this channel, and I said the biggest fear. That may be a quote. I may have said my biggest fear is that we run back last year, and we're just a bad offense, a slow, stagnant offense, and nothing changes. And we have the exact same scheme, and everything's the same. And right now, it is the exact same. It's actually kind of worse because of the playmakers we have. It's actually kind of worse than last year because somehow, simultaneously, we're watching Taysom Hill get no carries. We're watching Michael Thomas go catchless for the entire first half. We're watching Chris Olave not being productive until we need him the most. We're watching like all this stuff. We're watching 3 and outs. We're watching punts. We're watching no points in the second half. Up 17. It's like just control. Like last night. So I'm recording this on a Tuesday. Last night, the Philadelphia Eagles, the last drive of the game was a 9-minute drive, and they didn't score. They killed the game. 9-minute drive in the NFL. That's how good they are. A 9-minute drive. They had 9 minutes of possession on the last possession of the game. And that's like a third of the possession we had the entire game against the Packers. There's a difference, ladies and gentlemen, with the offense in the NFL right now. And we have got to figure it out quick. Real quick.
Just did not give the help that even that defense, a top 5 defense, and I feel safe saying that.
Yeah.
Top 5 defense in the NFL, it doesn't matter when you're not getting help.
Yeah. You got to be a little frustrated if your defense, you don't give up
Hell yeah.
again and you lose the game. And I know it's their fault. I mean, it's fourth quarter. You can't give it. But, like, it's the NFL. Offenses are going to find a way to score eventually.
Yes.
And the DA era of offensive football remains really badly, just from, like, an objective scoring standpoint. It's been awful. And when you
just said that.
Line, I don't know how you fix it. We'll see. Wow.
I mean, look. We're talking about a 40-second outro. Yeah, I mean, again, like let's go look at some offensive numbers. I mean, we'll do a super crude look at the stats here, but if you're talking about points forced, okay, and the Saints are 53. Think about how bad the Bears are. Think about how awful the Bears offense is. We're at 53 points scored. They're at 47. I mean, the Jets, Zach Wilson and the Jets have scored 11 less points than us. You look at the Dolphins, 130 points. I know they just scored 70 points. You look at the good offenses, 91, 130. Even teams in the 70s, like the Browns in the 70s. The Colts, Anthony Richardson and Gardner Minshew, 74 points they've scored. CJ Stroud and the Texans, 66. And we're chilling at 53. The Rams, 69. Nice. Cardinals. How bad are the Cardinals? How bad were the Cardinals preseason? Look at the Cardinals playmakers and look at our playmakers. And they've scored almost 20 more points than us. I mean, the Bears right now are one of the worst teams I've ever seen play. Like, they're one of the worst. When they're playing, what Justin Fields is doing, that is one of the worst things I've ever seen. And they have 6 less points than us. We're barely even beating them by a touchdown. So it is only 3 games, but we're being lapped by teams that aren't that good. The Broncos are really bad. The Broncos have 69 points scored. Like, teams that I would consider bad. The Commanders. Rolling us. You know, I mean, like I said, the Cardinals. The Patriots. The Patriots' offense is putrid. It makes me physically sick. I have to take Pepto-Bismol just to watch Mac Jones play. And they're 1 point less than us? I don't know. But yeah, when you look at this kind of stuff, I don't think Wil Lutz is fixing this, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you for watching. Let me know in the comments below. I know this kind of turned into a bigger conversation of the offense, and it's a fun little Wil Lutz, Blake Grupe conversation. But what do you think, guys? Let's take it all the way back. Is the Wil Lutz thing? Are you concerned about it? Are we all past that? Are we all past Wil Lutz? Are we that upset about Wil Lutz? What would you have been more upset about? Put it like this. Would you have been more upset the first week of the season if we lose the game against Tennessee at home because Blake Grupe misses an extra point and a field goal? Or would you have been more upset with how the Green Bay game played out? Because for me, I would have been much more upset at Grupe for the Tennessee loss because the Packers loss was on about 8 different people and not Blake Grupe. But if we would have lost because of an extra point and a field goal in that situation, different story. Let me know in the comments below, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you for watching. I will see you in the next video.